Okay, I wanted to do some of your homework problems for you yesterday. That's why I did some problems out of the book, but now I want to do the ones on the note sheet. So if you turn to page 38, which is the last page of this note sheet section, we need to get through these word problems, then we're going to look at your practice test and start reviewing. Test is Friday. Okay? So here we go. We're on the last note sheet, starting down in section 4.8. It says, draw a picture, write an equation, and solve it. Find the angle of elevation of a bird.
Is that good? I've seen that. Is that good? It's good.
In the top of a tree. All right, so here we go. I'm drawing my picture. Here's my bird in the top of the tree. I'm looking up at the bird. Here's my angle of elevation. It says the point on the ground is 100 feet from the base of the tree. And the bird is 18 feet above the ground. Now, does that picture make sense to you?
Yeah.
You need to be able to draw that picture on your own. So here's the tree. Here's the ground. Here's the base of the tree. So the point I'm looking from is 100 feet from the base of the tree. Now I need to find the angle of elevation. What function am I going to use? Remember, every time you write one of these, it's going to be a sine, a tangent, or a cosine. Every time.
How do you know it's tangent?
This will be tangent. Oh my gosh.
Are you okay?
The tangent of the angle
Miss
is
Ford,
opposite.
are you okay?
I think so.
You need another drink? Get another
The
drink.
tangent of the angle is opposite over.
If you have to take a day off, let me know, Miss Ford. I will run the show when you're gone. It's nothing.
Okay, does everybody understand why I use tangent?
Yeah.
Now, we talked about this yesterday. What am I looking for?
The angle.
And whenever I'm doing that, I have a special button I press on my calculator.
Second
tangent. Well, in this case, second tangent. The tangent of the angle is opposite over adjacent. Whenever I'm looking for the angle, when that's the question, I have to use my second button. I use my second button when I'm looking for the angle. So I can do that.
Question number one, I wish I know I was on it for maybe 10 minutes trying to do that math, so. I don't know.
I showed my mom one of these math problems one time, and I asked her for help.
Did you get 10.2 degrees?
Yes, I did, Ms. Ford.
You are correct, Bryce Akridge. Thank you. Okay. Next problem. See if you can draw this. Find the distance from a worm on the ground to a bird in the top of a tree. If the bird's angle of depression to the worm is 24 degrees and the tree is 19 feet tall. So here's the ground. Shh. Come on, let's be quiet so I don't have to yell.
Hey guys. We ain't got
Here's the
time.
ground and here's the tree. The bird is in the top of the tree and the worm is on the ground. The bird is looking down at the worm. angle of depression is 24 degrees. That means the angle of elevation is also 24 degrees. The tree is 19 feet tall. What am I looking for? The distance from the bird to the worm. Isn't that the hypotenuse this time?
No.
The distance from the bird to the worm, the distance between my fingers. Suzanne. Now, which function? Remember, you're going to write an equation. It's going to be sine, cosine, or tangent.
It's opposite and adjacent, so that's total, tangent.
I don't think this is opposite and adjacent.
Oh, opposite hypotenuse, so it's sine.
Sine 24 equals 19 over x. Is everybody okay with that? We have the opposite and the hypotenuse this time. These are the hard kind. We got to multiply by x, so we don't have that x down there anymore. And then we'll divide by the sine. Okay, so you should be able to type that in.
Yeet.
Looks like the bird and the worm are 46.71 feet apart. Bryce, do you match that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Look at the next one.
So is that a third buffer? So
How tall is a flagpole? So here's the flagpole standing on the ground. It casts a 23-foot shadow when the angle of elevation is 32 degrees. Where do I put the 23-foot shadow?
Bottom.
Base.
Right here. I want you to think about that for a minute, kids. When you see a shadow, where is it? Isn't it on the ground?
Yep.
So if that shadow is 23 feet long, it's down here on the ground. What am I looking for?
The height.
The height of the flagpole. So you're ready to write an equation. What's it going to be? Tangent. Because you have opposite and adjacent. So what do we get? 14.37 feet.
damn, I looked away for 2 minutes.
Everybody okay with that? All right, let's get out our pretest. Pretest number 1. Sorry, now. Not right now. A little piece of it, but we've already talked about the piece we need to talk about. Okay. The pretest looks like it is,
Hard.
well, it's 4 pages, front and back of both pages, so
You said
skim
4?
through it. Should we just start at the beginning and work through, or? All right, here we go. Change into degrees. This looks like a quiz question. Change into degrees. What do you do?
Calculator, you have one wrong.
Okay, Maya Brownlow, you do not need a calculator on this problem.
Just
Change this into degrees.
Do you want to know what I put on that paper? 40. I was supposed to put 45.
It was 45.
45 times
I mean,
so 135.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
What's pi?
I was thinking.
What's
180
pi?
divided by
180 divided by 5. So, Maya, if I can't do 180 divided by 5 in my head, I'll do it over to the side. So 180 divided by 5 is 36, and 36 times 3 is 108.
36.
So the answer is 108.
Okay, I just went about the wrong way.
That's why I'm not getting around.
You're
So,
gonna get somewhere. Look at that pole.
you guys, really, just stop. Just be quiet. Jabron made an excellent point. He went about it the wrong way. The point is, you need to know how to do the problem. Quit getting all hung up about the stupid arithmetic and know how to do the problem. To change this into degrees, we know pi is 180. Then we divide by 5 and multiply by 3. I have complete confidence in you that if you know how to do this problem, you can divide by 5 and times by 3. I'm good with that. I think you're good with that. Now, change into radians. This is a different ballgame. How do we change that into radians? We set up a proportion. Julia, do you remember the proportion?
Is it pi over 180?
Always pi over 180. That never changes. Always pi over 180 equals?
X over 50.
You are exactly right. And Julia knew that it was x over 250 because 180 is the degree measure and it's in the denominator, so 250 is the degree measure, it has to be in the denominator. So now we're going to cross multiply, and again, you do not need a calculator to do this. 250 pi equals 180x. Then we're going to divide by 180. Now, I know these numbers are big, but the zeros cancel. It's like dividing by 10. That's gone. And you're left with 25 pi over 18. That is your answer. Don't be babies. You do not need a calculator. Now, for the next one, draw yourself a picture. We have an angle of 40 degrees in a circle with a radius of 10. And we are finding the measure of the arc.
It's the radius times it's
No, you're right. What is it, Maya?
I don't know. I just know it's like
Yes, you
radius
do.
times radius.
That's exactly what it is. The arc rate is radius times radians, just like Maya Brownlow said. She's exactly right. So all we need to do is multiply the radius, which is 10, times the radian measure of the angle. Now this is where we have a problem, because the measure of the angle is not in radians, and it needs to be. So what are we going to do? What we just did. We're going to set up a proportion over to the side and say pi is to 180. Remember what Julia said? Pi is to 180 as what? X over 40. So I'll cross multiply again. And I'll reduce my fraction. So once again, the zeros are gone. I have 4 pi over 18, which I can reduce to 2 pi over 9. That is not the answer. That's what I did over to the side. That's this. That's the radian measure of the angle. So I can take the radius, which they told me was 10, times 2 pi over 9. So I get 20 pi over 9. That is the answer to the question.
Okay.
This is the key, what Maya Brownlow said.
Arc is radiance times radiance.
All right, next. We're going to find the value of all the trig functions given that the tangent is a half and we're between 180 and 270. Now you've got to pay attention to this. What does between 180 and 270 mean?
The third quadrant.
Exactly, Bryce. You're on fire today. We are in the third quadrant,
Oh, God.
which means we have our butterfly bow tie. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out, but I was looking at a couple of the quizzes. Oh, God. And I saw this.
Wait, who did that?
Now,
I didn't do that.
yeah. This makes my eye twitch.
I have a small aneurysm when I see these things.
Every triangle we ever draw in this class is a piece of the butterfly bow tie.
But you have to admit,
Can I get a student time?
on the bright side, it does remotely look like one of the triangles that are allowed.
In that it has 3 sides. Taylor?
You have to draw that for that problem. Like, I